Hello, everybody. Good evening. This is Pastor Vaughn. I want to follow up on a video that I made earlier this morning from the airport. If you've not seen it, it's on my timeline on Facebook, and it has been shared over 500 times today with 70,000 views already. The reason I'm following up on it is because all my Catholic friends feel the need to set me straight. And so let's deal with that real quick. And I want to see who's right, me or them. See who can sing "I Told You So," me or them. So let's dive right in. This morning I reported that the abomination of desolation, which is a euphemism for a horrible desecration of the temple of God, had been committed today by the Roman Catholic Church, especially His Holiness Pope Francis. Francis. Nevertheless, I reported that Pope Francis had approved or given a blessing and said that the priest of the church can now bless what Yahweh has cursed. And so as soon as I made that video and it started going semi-viral, I'm being attacked by Catholics everywhere that I got it wrong and that I lied on the Pope. So we're going to find out if I did. The reason they're saying that I got it wrong is because I said that the Catholic Church was putting a blessing on same-sex marriages. Well, they're all telling me, no. He didn't say marriages. He said same-sex couples. And I say to all of you, right, those same-sex couples are what? Married by the state, most of them. So if you are blessing a same-sex couple, you are blessing and sanctifying same-sex marriage. See, you can play on words all day long, but some of us are not dumb. I know you want us to be, but we're not. We know an ace is an ace, a spade is a spade. And so if you'll remember, about a month ago, the Roman Catholic Church said that gay couples could come to baptisms and they could be foster parents, but they could not be blessed by the church. Well, I told you when that happened, watch what's coming next. And sure enough, today it came. I told you so. It came today. And you can be assured that same-sex marriage will be not far behind. So let me go and pull up the article and let's see if I got it wrong. Let's just look and see. This is from Reuters News, the same newspaper that wrote an article about Professor Toto. They say the Vatican approves blessings for same-sex couples, a landmark ruling. Well, see, it don't say marriages, and couples are what? Most of the time, they are what? Married. You can't play on words, folks. Don't throw your rocks and then hide your hands. Just own whatever you're doing. Vatican City said on Monday in a landmark ruling approved by Pope Francis that Roman Catholic priests can administer blessings to what Yahweh has cursed, to same-sex couples. And the vast majority of those are married, as long as they are not part of regular church rituals or liturgies. Great. So we're at step 2. First, they could come to baptism and be godparents. And now they can be blessed, even though they said, matter of fact, it says it right here. A document from the Vatican's Doctrinal Council, which effectively reversed a declaration that the same body had issued in 2020, said such blessings would not legitimize irregular situations. I love how they call abominations irregular situations. but be a sign that God welcomes all. Oh, how loving and kind. This false kindness, this false compassion was the Trojan horse that brought wokeness into the church. This false compassion that God welcomes all. I want to tell every one of you something. The God of the Bible, he does not welcome sin into his holy church. Achan tried that. There's a story in the Bible. Achan tried to bring the abomination into the church of Israel, the camp. And God said, kill them all. Why? He does not welcome sin. Quit letting these people lie to you. Now, according to this council reversed an earlier decision. What was the earlier decision? That they would not bless same-sex marriages. No, not going to do it. But see, here's what happens, darling. Whenever you start down the path of compromise, it's over. The Roman Catholic Church, and I'm going to give it credit where credit is due, for generations has been a voice of morality. Whether they are a force of morality or not is a different subject. But at least publicly, they were a voice of morality. They stood for the consecration of the unborn, traditional marriages. And they have been the preeminent voice, even more so than the Protestant churches, against violating these norms of marriage, holy matrimony. Let me tell you what all of this is about. It is about the destruction of holy matrimony. That's what's coming next. And that's why I've taught, let me talk to you. I'm going to say something that a lot of people disagree with, but that's just because they're not thinking about it. I do not believe that the state or the government, the state, has any business issuing marriage licenses. I've always taught that, and it did not happen in America until they did it for Social Security purposes. Before that, marriage licenses were an exclusive ordinance of the Holy Church, and we issued marriage certificates, but it had nothing to do with the state. It said that this is a holy matrimony. It was administered by the church, not some justice of the peace that has no spiritual authority. It was not done by some nickel knocker, Joe Blow off the corner that does not hold an ordination by the laying on of hands of God's holy presbytery. And the church gave those certificates until Social Security came along. So if I was to tell you right now, you need to go down to the courthouse and get you a baptism certificate, wouldn't you think that was sort of ludicrous? Or what if I said, go down to the courthouse and get you a communion certificate? It's just that stupid to have to get a marriage license from the state when the church is the sole authority over marriage. Let me tell you why they took that power away from the church. They took it out of our hands because Satan had a plan way back then to delegitimize the holiness and the sanctification of marriage. That's why weddings today are hardly held in a church anymore. They'll hold them anywhere but inside the holy church. Women don't wear veils anymore at weddings. Why? Because it no longer represents Christ and his veiled church. So the Holy Catholic Church held that standard forever. Today, they dropped it. And the Protestants are even worse, but at least the Catholics were the voice of that. So yes, I don't care what my Catholic friends say. I don't care what they believe and how they want to argue with me. You're wrong and I'm right. Why are you wrong? You're looking through rose-covered glasses and you're wanting to say, well, they didn't say that they could get married. No, here's what they said. If they're already married, We will bless their marriage. Baby, that's called blessing gay marriage. Someone else tried to make that mistake in the Old Testament. His name was Balaam. And he tried to bless what God had cursed or curse what God had blessed. Didn't turn out too well. I've come to tell every single one of you watching me tonight, the holy so-called Roman Catholic Church and her pontificate has said in the past, and I'll pull the quote up here for you if you need me to. The Holy Pope said that the church, speaking of the Catholic Church, are the true Semitic people. That was said 1,000 years ago by the church. What did they mean by that? We, the church, have replaced the Semitic people or the Jewish people. It was in the Catholic Church where anti-Semitism found its roots. They believed that they were the church, the new Jew. That the Jew of the natural bloodline had been replaced by the true Jews, which is the spiritual bloodline of Judaism or Jewish people. Now, the Bible tells us in the book of Revelation, I'm not going to get into a Bible study, so I'm not even going to the scriptures. You can look them up yourself. That there would be a people in the last days, in the revelation that John was seeing, that would call themselves Jews. But in fact, they're not Jews. The Bible said they are the synagogue of Satan. This church would be so powerful that it would literally be the synagogue where Satan puts on a robe, white robe, and carries the title Pontificus Maximus, and he would set himself up as the Antichrist in God's temple. The third temple that everyone is waiting for to be built in Jerusalem. So sad to see every little thing that happens. They think the temple's about to be built, and it hasn't, and it's not going to without World War III. And if that happens, then Yeshua returns, and it don't matter anyway. So while you're so busy looking for that with your carnal reading of the scriptures, you have failed to realize that the third temple began to be built 2,000 years ago, a building not made with hands, a building that was started out by the chief cornerstone himself, Yeshua, the prophets and the apostles, and Yeshua bringing them together, started building the third temple. He was the cornerstone of that temple. And we have been building it for 2,000 years, and it's almost to completion. And the Bible said, when you see the abomination of desolation set himself up in that temple, and then it says, he that hath ears, let him hear what the Spirit is saying. In other words, don't read what your eyes are reading. You need the Holy Spirit to hear what the Spirit is trying to warn you about, because carnal people are going to be looking for a third temple while totally overlooking the fact that the third temple has now been inhabited by the Antichrist, who sits on a religious throne, giving power to the beast, and the beast giving power to that Antichrist, which is the church that he rules over. And what is the Antichrist going to do? The Bible said he would set himself up as God in that temple. Today, when Pope Francine took and blessed a pig in God's holy temple, that's what we just finished celebrating at Hanukkah, was Antiochus Epiphanes brought a pig into the holy temple, cut its throat, shed the blood, and desecrated the temple. Today, Pope Francine brought a pig into the church and literally blessed what Yahweh calls unclean. And brothers and sisters, he's not the only one. Any church, Protestant or otherwise, that follows his teachings, whether it's his Trinity, whether it's his incarnation, whether it's his whatever, They are all Catholic, no matter what name is over their door. And they all bow, whether they keep his Sunday Sabbath that he created, they're all bowing down to that pig blood that the Pope has shed today in God's holy temple. You can get mad at me, you can hate me, but you can never unhear what you just learned.